Well, hello, and sorry for the long delay. I had some technical glitches here that I was trying to work out. Thanks for tuning in. It's been a weird day. A lot of lot of technical stuff has been going sideways, to say the least, today. Uh, all of it's software related, none of it hardware related, which is oddly enough a relatively new thing for me. Usually the software works and the hardware fails, but in the last little bit, it's been the opposite. So, apologies. Unpredictability of technology sometimes can really twist one's melon. And it's kind of done that for me today. So, one second. Had to clear my throat. So, today, yeah, signed a contract with a new employer. It's a commission only sales position. And not 60 minutes after I signed the contract, I got a call for another offer. Same sort of position, but there'd be salary and commission. I'm like, oh, um, I just I just signed a contract. He's like, well, how binding is it? Well, there's always fluctuations and changes that one can take. Honestly, I said, I have a meeting on Wednesday. After the meeting, I will give you a call and we can have a conversation and see, maybe something, I don't know. It's funny how when it rains, it pours, right? You go 2 months with, well, admittedly, no work, but I also wasn't looking for work for 2 months because I knew I had time and I wanted to catch up on some rest and relaxation and have a little bit of that free spirit, if you will, knowing full well that eventually that I would have to re-enter the workplace. And one of the things about it that strikes me so um, odd, crazy, wild, sideways. I don't even know what verbiage to attach to this. But one of the things that I thought was odd was how that I was just so comfortable and relaxed with the position I was in, knowing full well, of course, that this won't last forever. I mean, it's not like I'm old enough to draw a pension yet, and because I'm Canadian, we have the CPP, which is the Canada Pension Plan, which every Canadian is entitled to if you pay taxes. Along with that, we have the GIS, which is the Guaranteed Income Supplement, and the OAS, which is the Old Age Security uh, Plan. So I may be destitute, but I won't be homeless once retirement kicks in. If that makes any sort of sense, I don't know. Just um, I feel like I'm whining about things that are not whinable about, if that makes any sense. There are people who have it so much worse off than I do. I mean, my goodness, I'm sitting here in a studio surrounded by lights and audio equipment that I've been fortunate enough to pay for. None of which, of course, is cheap and it all costs money, but I was in a position to purchase all of this stuff. So, you know, how how hard is the road ahead? I also have friends and family that I know would not let me ever become completely destitute. So there's that. And I have new opportunities presented to me daily. Life is so complex and complicated and convoluted sometimes that I just don't know what to say about it. I'm a little hoarse today. My throat's a little rough. I don't know if it's allergies or if perhaps it's just exhaustion from the time of the season and all of the many things that have been thrown towards me lately. I don't know. I don't know how to call it. I don't know how to pass judgment upon it. I do have some contracts that I'm working on. And like I said, I signed a new contract today to work as a sales rep. And perhaps I have another offer on the table. You know, it's also very bizarre and twisted and complicated and complex. And I don't even know where to begin with any of it. You know, it's like, how do you, how do you suddenly change your life at 56 when you had no plans on doing it? Here's the thing. It's surprisingly easy. Even though it's a little stressful, it's surprisingly easy. And I think it has to do with the fact that I'm Generation X. You know, the forgotten generation, the one that we were left alone to fend for ourselves. Not me personally, because I had a stay at home mom, but I know millions of us did. And many of us left home very early. I left when I was I 18? 18 or 19? I don't recall exactly. What I do remember, though, is how I thought, you know, I'm going to take the world on and I'm going to be successful and all these things are going to roll my way because we were led to believe that would happen. And that is not a knock against my parents by any stretch of the imagination. That's a knock against society. Because my parents always told me, you can be anything you want to be, but it's going to be a difficult road to get there. Nothing will ever be handed to you, and you're going to have to work for all of it. I don't think truer words have ever been spoken. Now, what did I want to be when I was 19? I wanted to be the next Eddie Van Halen, but I came to the realization that I don't have the hands for it. That pinky is way too short to play the Eddie Van Halen kind of riffs. Not to mention the fact that I was not in the right country or the right city at the time frame in my life where the possibility was even remote. Now I am grateful for how much things have changed since that time, so that now a talented individual, no matter where they are in the world, can produce video. Sorry, that's my dog. She came to say hello. A talented individual these days can produce something, whether it's singing, dancing, acting, playing an instrument of some type. They can get online, produce something, put it on YouTube, and somebody somewhere may find it. An audience may grow, whether they decide to go with a record company, which I recommend you don't do. I would recommend that you form your own publishing company once you start earning money off of YouTube or Spotify, whichever the case may be. Open up your own publishing company so that you own all of your music and you can distribute it as you see fit and license it where you see fit. I say this because I've seen so many people who have signed great deals and really got screwed. I do discuss some of this on my Mixcloud channel where I discuss pop music, pop, rock, metal, country. It's popular music. Pop doesn't mean bubblegum. Pop means popular music. And if you have a hit song and you're a heavy metal artist, that would be pop, as in it's popular music. Enter Sandman was on the charts. That makes it a pop song. Now, I know a lot of metal folks might get mad about that, but there you go. Anyway, I'm about to restart my Mixcloud series on popular music. I restarted my recent jazz music show, and it's the thing about the jazz music show is it's not for everyone. It's for those who love and appreciate jazz music. I'm sorry, my throat is really dry. One second. There we go. That's a little better. Yeah, so the jazz music show is for those who love jazz. It's not for everybody. I don't expect anyone who is not a jazz lover to ever tune in. It is spoken in a similar tone, and it's educational. So if you wanted to learn about jazz, check it out. It's worth your while. It's called Songs and Stories, Supplemental Jazz Edition. You can find it on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, wherever you get your fine podcasts. As for the Mixcloud one, it's exclusively Mixcloud because they license the music that I can play there. And it's there's no complications when it comes to copyrights. And I guess that's kind of where my head is right now. With all the spare time that I have, being unemployed, even though I've taken a position, I find that I want to discuss music and the projects and the things that bring me passion, along with, of course, my mental health, and talking about how we can improve our mental health together. Hmm. Something occurred to me the other day, and I had a moment where, bear with me, it takes me a minute to find the correct words. 1 second. I had a moment the other day where I had a challenge. It was emotional. I'm not going to give it an nitty gritty because that's nobody's business but mine. But what happened wasn't terrible, but it was a moment of how do I move forward from this? I mean, I certainly found the method and the way, but in that moment, it was difficult. I wanted to just run away. That's what I wanted to do. Just like, nope, can't deal with this. I'm out, and leave. Just go for a long walk and come home when I felt like it, and deal with the situation later. Unfortunately, life doesn't work that way. So I had to deal with the situation right then and there. I honestly don't know if I dealt with it correctly. I am questioning whether or not I was able to be sensitive and caring and attentive, and at the same time expressing how I felt in the moment. I don't know that I succeeded. I mean, my first gut reaction is, oh, I've totally failed. And I don't think there's anybody out there who probably feels much different than that. I think there's so many of us who feel that when we are in a moment of emotional turmoil. I don't know what the word is here. I'm searching and I'm having a trouble coming up with the correct terminology. But when we are, one second, when we find ourselves in a moment where we are struggling for the words, struggling for the method to deal, the manner to deal, I think that's when we get tested the most. And I don't know that I succeeded, but I don't think I failed. Hey, I'm still here after all. And this person who I had this conflict with, we're still good friends. So I think in the end it was okay. It was complex, convoluted. He and I have been friends for a number of years. So sometimes I fail in expressing myself. And sometimes I succeed. Either way, he and I are still good buddies, and that's important. And I have no reason to believe that things won't be positive in the future. I have every reason to believe that, we can revisit that moment and have the conversation about, hey, so this, that, and 9 other things. And I will be apologetic, and I know he will be too. And it will go along the lines of, so this, he'd be like, yeah. I'll be like, and you with that? Yeah, of course. Okay, so we can just put this to bed and move on. I have every reason to believe that'll be the case. Doesn't mean I'm unaffected by it. I mean, my goodness, I'm a human being. I have emotions. I have feelings, and I really hope that momentary lapse of reason on both of our parts, because both of us got a little out of our heads. I think we can move past it. You know, the funny thing is, the ironic thing is, the twisted thing is, the weird thing is, I don't know what the word to use here is. We both recognize that, hey, man, in the end, this is not a big deal. It really isn't. And my apologies for being vague, but I can't always divulge every single aspect of my life because, there are other people who are involved in it, and I'd like to protect them. In the end, we still love each other. We'll still be good friends. Everything will be okay. It was a minor, super minor nothing. It's a gigantic nothing in our long-standing friendship. That being said, I'm in a vulnerable place right now. And I did say that to him. I said, look, man, I'm sorry I lashed out. I'm, going through these things. And he was like, bro, I get it. However, I'm like, no, right. Mea culpa. And I think that was all he needed to hear was that I accepted my shortcomings in the conversation. And we shall move forward from here on out. One second. My apologies. My voice is a little bit hoarse today as we've had some strange ass weather here lately and my sinuses have been killing me. Anyway, it's been a weird week, even though it's a short one. My, you know, I try and put a positive spin on the month of October. I really do. I really do. Here in Canada, we have Thanksgiving. It usually would have taken place last weekend, but the way the calendar worked this year, it takes place next weekend. So Thanksgiving is later than normal this year, and it's a holiday that I very much look forward to every year. It's a deciding weekend in the CFL, Canadian Football League, and I love the CFL. It's time for family and friends to get together and have a big meal and celebrate one another's company. And then, of course, 2 weeks after that, ordinarily it's 3, but 2 weeks after that, we have Halloween, which is normally something to look forward to. And I say normally, and I don't mean that this year is any different, because I will still look forward to it. But I'm just really having a hard time putting a positive spin on October this year. November, the only thing that's ever been good about November, as far as I'm concerned, is the fact that we have, there used to be a television network, TBS, I'll say TBS, I could be wrong, that would have 14 days of 007 and just show Bond movies every night for 14 days, 2 weeks of Bond. I mean, now you could do 3 because there's enough of them to do that. And that made November palpable because it's the worst month of the year as far as I'm concerned. The weather's never great. It's usually cold, wet, and rainy. It's not cold enough for snow or ice, so you can't skate or ski yet. Then December rolls around, and it used to be by December 5th or 6th, we'd have snow on the ground. Maybe ski season starts, maybe it doesn't. The canal's not frozen yet, but it's going to be there soon. The last 20 years have been a different story. Without getting into the political aspect of climate change, it's very real because we just don't have winter starting like it normally did. Time was, you could skate on the canal before Christmas. Now we're happy if it opens. Last year was the first year in 50 years I didn't ski. Because the season just wasn't worthwhile. Unless you're willing to spend money to travel to, Le Massif or Velinois or Saint-Anne or Tremblant, which is close, but nevertheless, there's a lot of money involved. Or out west, and in which case some places out west just didn't have a season. And I'm not getting political about this because that's not what this show does, but the climate is changing whether we like to admit it or not. Ski season is shorter, there's less snow, there's less cold days, and if the Rideau Canal opens for 20 days, we get kind of excited. That's That's kind of sad because, the canal is something that I look forward to because it's just a few hundred meters from me. I can strap my skates and go out and get some great exercise without impacting my knees. I can't run because it hurts my knees. I can only ride my bike for a little while before, something else hurts. I'm an old man complaining, and I apologize for that, but here we are. It's all real. And I wish it wasn't, but it is. So I'll just roll with the punches as much as I can. And remember to breathe. Oopsie, I dropped something. Apologies. The anxiety lately has been all over the map. And I don't quite know why. The thing that we don't fully understand about the human body is how much the weather, pressure, etc., can affect headaches, sinuses, attitudes, altitude, anxiety, and depression. We are affected by so many things that we still don't fully understand. And I wish I could tell you that this, that, or 5 other things are the reason why you feel the way you do. But I can't tell you that. That would be a lie. And I'll never lie to you. I don't know why you feel the way you feel. Sometimes it might be brain chemicals. Sometimes it might be genetics. Sometimes it could be weather, change in circumstances, changing your job. The way the brain works and affects the body is something we may never truly fully understand. However, I do want you to know this, and this is really important. I am here for you. I'm here to listen to you. I'm here to share with you. And if you're struggling, if you're having a hard time, if you are not sure if tomorrow is going to come, please, I beg of you, reach out. Reach out to me, reach out to a friend, reach out to someone somewhere, because I guarantee you someone cares enough that they want to see you be here for another day. I have so many people in my life that I can call on, that I know would be destroyed if I were to leave. So, I've chosen to stay, even through the tough times, and admittedly, emotionally, psychologically, I'm not doing too bad at all. I mean, all things considered, I'm unemployed. I have no money coming in. Well, I had to take a job, but it's a commission position, so until I make a sale, there's no money. But all things considered, I should not feel as good as I do. And yet I do. I have this beautiful dog that's on my couch right behind me. You heard her earlier. I have this beautiful woman who I've taken as my wife, or chosen as my wife. I haven't taken her. She chose me. She picked me. And I have all this wonderful friends and family that tell me how much I'm loved and wanted and needed. So I am going to hang on to that. And that's what's keeping me going and being positive and being happy and being joyful in this difficult time. I'm going to be here for a long time. And I hope you will be too. So if you have a tough time, reach out to me. Reach out to a friend. Reach out to a family. Join the chat. You don't have to say anything revealing. Just know that you're welcome in this community. And that we want you here too. Okay. You take care. I'm gonna head on home, which is literally 2 meters behind me. I'll see you soon. Take care.